Ram hand-to-hand couriers.
Welcome to Big Sky Country, where the blue of the heavens kisses the green of the earth. There are few more beautiful places on earth than we're right here in the heart of the Free State Tabanchu for the penultimate leg of the Donaldson Cross Country Championship.
There is plenty of tension in the Team Castrol Toyota and Ford Racing camps. Castrol Toyota pair of Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy hold a 20-point lead over Ford Racing crew of Chris Visser and Jelpie Badenhorst, who are fighting for championship survival for the second year in a row.
I think this weekend I need to finish in the top three to wrap it up, but you know, we're going to go hard in the prologue and try and get into the front. Dust is going to be a problem because it's very dry, although the wind is blowing a bit, so it'll be quite interesting. But you know, in the race, if someone catches up to me and puts pressure, I'm not going to try and chase harder, because that's normally when you're bound to make mistakes, and I'll let them go. So even if Chris wins and I finish in the top three, it'll be ours.
In the championship standings, reigning champions Duncan Foss and Rob Howie are the only other team in with a mathematical chance of sneaking the production vehicle and SP class titles.
The Cross Country Celebrity Challenge has been a huge success, and sitting alongside Archie Rutherford on this event is Afrikaans rap artist Jack Parow.
How's the testing been going?
It's been going good, I must say. I haven't been navigating on the testing. I've just been getting used to the car, but it's been good. I've been loving it. It's so cool. I get when I get nervous, I laugh. So I was just laughing throughout the whole thing.
With so much at stake in the production vehicle category, the qualifying race to determine grid positions was going to be a hectic affair. The qualifying event is scheduled to run over a 60k route, and the three title contenders and privateer teams will be pushing as hard as possible to make sure of good start positions in what is certain to be a dusty event, with winter rain a rare commodity here in the Free State.
Most of the attention this weekend is going to be focused on the factory Toyota and Ford teams. While the championship battle is between Taylor Murphy and Visser Badenhorst, the other factory teams of Force Howie and Woolridge Huxtable could play crucial roles.
Coming into view, the RFS BMW of Christian Deploy and Henk Janse van Vieren, and you have to feel a little sorry for the young Pretoria crew. Theirs has been a season filled with bad luck, and they missed the Sun City 400.
Well, this is an unscheduled stop, and it looks as though Deploy and Janse van Vieren are again in trouble, and there's smoke starting to pour into the cockpit.
What happened out here now?
Yeah, we just smelled something in the car just down the hill here. And when I looked into the rearview mirror, it was just flames everywhere. And we're not sure what happened yet, but it seems that the fuel got alight. Luckily, we had the fire extinguisher system, so since I pressed it, it went off in the back.
It looks as though race officials are cutting short the qualifying race.
This is a road crossing, and we have got, luckily Rex and myself were here. We took some time from the early guys, and we are now stopping the race here. The guys that has gone through will stop inside, and we will calculate their times from the time that they cross the road crossing here. Also with our electronic systems that we've got, we can easily calculate that. So although the prologue was shortened quite a lot, at least we have got a prologue, and we have a race tomorrow.
Well, qualifying has been shortened to 26 kilometers, and in the production vehicle category, only 33 seconds separates the first 5 cars, with Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy and Cyril van Biljon and Philip Harselman credited with the same time.
Cross-country racing is a family-orientated sport, and in the Elegant Fuel camp, two brothers are racing with their sons. Both teams are former SA champs, with Quinton Silvalt scoring his first win as a driver on the recent Freiburg 400.
I like this type of terrain, and I'm glad it's not a tight race or in the mountains type of thing, with like in plantations and stuff like that. So yeah, we're happy with where we are now.
Vic, I don't know, it's a family affair whenever we look at the Elegant Fuel camp. And you must have been very chuffed with your cousin's performance last month.
I was super amped for him. It was a brilliant race. Me and Quinton have been dreaming about racing off-road since we were little lighties together, when our fathers were racing in the 90s. And this is honestly a boyhood dream come true. I think for the both of us, I was living the dream with him there. So it was really cool.
The special vehicle category sees KwaZulu-Natal crew of Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell with a slender 3-point lead and a string of other crews still in contention in what is a tight championship battle.
The qualifying race for the Special Vehicle Brigade is also expected to be a close-run affair, with reigning champs Evan Hutchison and Donnie Stassen leading the way in the Motorite Bat Viper. All the championship contenders will be in the mix, and reliability is going to be a telling factor this weekend. Teams have to drop one score at the end of the season, and so far Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell are the only crew with a 100% finish record.
Former champions Quinton and Kali Silvalt are looking for a second successive win this weekend. And behind them, Philip de Vries and Johan Viljoen have quietly worked their way into title contention in the Conqueror Porter.
Special Vehicle Championship leaders Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell have been models of consistency this season. The KZN pair took a maiden win on the first event of the year and have finished in the points in all 6 races run so far this season. There's also an international flavour to the Donaldson Cross Country Championship, with DRC brothers Eduardo and Ricardo Agazi regular visitors to South Africa.
There is another tight finish in the special vehicle category, with only 7 seconds separating Evan Hutchison and Donnie Stassen and the father and son combination of Quinton and Kali Silvalt.
Once the dust has settled on the qualifying race, it is a busy time for tech crews. Cars need to be readied for battle tomorrow, and in the Donaldson Cross Country Championship, they like to start them young.
For some crews, it is a case of rescuing cars that are temporarily out of action, and a late night lies ahead.
A Free State Lesotho sunrise, and the countdown to today's race has started.
The race field is extremely tight. In fact, 7 minutes separate the first and the last cars. But out in front, they've got the number A1 and the number 1. It's Evan Hutchison and Donnie Stassen from Motorite.
An aerial view of the start at the Black Mountain Hotel, with a field of over 60 production and special vehicles ready for battle, with the crews expecting a tight and technical route. The race will be run over 2 loops of 170 kilometers, with a compulsory 15-minute service halt after the first loop.
Reigning Special Vehicle champions Evan Hutchison and Donnie Stassen have jumped into an immediate lead in the Motorite Bat Viper. Controlling the pace of a race from the front is not always easy, but Evan and Donnie have a clear road ahead of them. Running at the front is a major advantage, and after starting with the 7-second lead, the Motorite crew are edging away from Quinton and Kali Silvalt in the Elegant Fuel Bat Venom.
Current production vehicle championship leaders Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy have come into this race on the back of 4 successive wins, including the Toyota 1000 Desert Race in Botswana, which carried points and a half. Up ahead, a road crossing, and it looks as though Quinton and Kali Silvalt have run into a problem, and that is a blow for their championship hopes.
After starting alongside Cyril van Biljon and Philip Hasselman, the production vehicle race leaders Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy have opened up a little gap in the Atlas Copco Toyota Hilux. Cyril van Biljon is competing in only his 4th race and came to prominence with their heroic ride on a quad in this year's Dakar Rally in South America. Caught up in the Atlas Copco crew's dust are Colin Matthews and Rodney Burke in the Century Racing CR3.
Behind the wheel of a race car, Colin Matthews is one of the most aggressive drivers in the Donaldson Championship and still has an outside chance of winning the Special Vehicle Drivers' Championship. But it does look as though they have a problem. An engine problem it was, with the crew later reporting losing an hour while they repaired a tensioner bearing.
For the second year in a row on this event, former South African champions Chris Visser and Japie Badenhorst are fighting for survival in the Production Vehicle Championship, with the Ford Ranger crew coming under a little pressure from Hermann and Wichert Silvalt in the Elegant Fuel Striker.
A Dakar Rally debut beckons early next year for the Ford Racing pair of Chris Visser and Japie Badenhorst, and with a win and 5 podium finishes this season, they have been models of consistency. But now they have also come to a halt with what looks to be a puncture, and that is going to cost them a place or two, with reigning champions Duncan Foss and Rob Howie in the second of the Works Castrol Toyota Hilux entries, moving into third spot in Class SP. Also gaining a position is the second Ford Ranger of Lance Woolridge and Ward Huxtable, and we have a good little dice developing here.
Some race cam action from the Woolridge Huxtable Ford Ranger, with the pair playing a little game of tag with the Castrol Toyota of Duncan Foss and Rob Howie. The Pietermaritzburg-based Woolridge and Huxtable started off the season with the win, but since then their form has been disappointing, and they will be keen to close off the season with some strong performances.
Some close special vehicle battles have developed further down the field, with the Conqueror Porter of Philip de Vries and Johan Viljoen now in third place and leading Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell in the Dirt Sport Components Porter. The KZN pair are being chased by the Argazzi brothers in a Zarco, with the Congo pair putting in a strong performance currently in fifth.
A couple of interesting little cameos have developed throughout the field. Northwest crew Hiku de Brain and Henry Hiku are trying to make up time on the 2 factory cars ahead of them, and are under a little pressure from Derek de Toy and teenager Sean van Staden in the bat. For de Toy, it is his first outing in 3 years.
The Force Fuel pair of Luke Buerta and Kevin Durston have had an adventurous season. They've twice rolled the Toyota Hilux, and it looks as though they also have a suspension problem.
How did that happen?
There's not been much midfield movement in either the production or special vehicle categories, but the Buerta-Durston delay will see Bloemfontein crew Louw de Brain and Rian Greyling move into 7th spot in the SP class. The Free Staters are being chased by the Atlas Copco Toyota of Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson, with Neil Mayer and Philip Smith having a good run in the Maxus Liqui Moly Rockstar Zarco.
Close on their heels in the Cock and Son Toyota Hilux are Malcolm Cock and Johan Berger, followed by Lance Trethui and Jeff Minute in the LT Earthmovers Bat, rounding off the top 10 in the special vehicle race.
Choice spectator points draw enthusiasts like a magnet, with team supporters and family members urging on their favourites. There's plenty of support for Terence Marsh and Gerard Skitter in the Regent Racing Nissan Navara, and Gary Berthold and Siegfried Rousseau in the Atlas Copco Navara, with the crews locked in a battle and trying to recover from disappointing qualifying race performances. After a patchy start to the season, Marsh and Skitter put together some solid results, but have had to bow to pressure from Berthold and Rousseau in the Navara.
With half a loop completed, Evan Hutchison and Dani Stassen continue to lead the special vehicle category, ahead of Hermann and Wichert Silvalt.
While Taylor and Murphy hold on to the number 1 spot in the production vehicle race, Fitz and Badenhorst will be working hard to recover the time lost.
With around 60 kilometres to the designated service park, Hutchison and Stassen still have an open road ahead of them and look to be in complete control of matters.
Despite navigation aids like a road book, route marking and GPS, it is possible for crews to stray off the route. Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy are not immune to the malady, and this little incident has cost them 3 positions.
A little further up the road, Hermann and Wichert Silvalt are still holding down second place in the special vehicle category in the Elegant Fuel Striker, while Cyril van Biljon and Philip Hasselman now find themselves at the front of the production vehicle field in the Atlas Copco Toyota. It has been an impressive performance from the pair, but trouble is looming behind them in the form of Duncan Foss and Rob Howie in the factory Castrol Toyota.
Back on board with Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy, who are again in a spot of bother with what looks like a puncture. And this is going to cost the Castrol Toyota Hilux pair a place or two in the pecking order, with Woolridge and Huxtable in the Ford Ranger steaming past them.
Special Vehicle Championship leaders Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell are still making good progress though, and the Dirt Sport Components Porter sounds healthy.
The Argazi brothers in fourth place are having a good race in the Zaga, but are being closed down by Chris Fiss and Jaapie Badenhorst, with the Ford Ranger crew fighting back after an early puncture set them back on their heels. The Ford crew will activate the electronic warning device fitted to all the cars, and there you go. De Toey and Van Staden politely move out the way.
Former South African champions Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst won this race last year to take the Production Vehicle Championship all the way to the wire on the final event of the season. They desperately need a repeat performance today, but the puncture did nothing to help their cause and they are playing catch-up. The Ford Ranger is running ahead of Philip de Vries and Johan Viljoen in the Conqueror Porter, with Northwest-based Hicho de Bruin and Henry Hicho putting in another strong drive in the Michelin XL Toyota Hilux.
Another KZN driver making good progress is Lance Trethewey, who has veteran co-driver Jeff Minott making a comeback from a back injury sitting alongside him in the LT Earthmovers bat. Trethewey and Minott are running just ahead of Neil Mayer and Philip Smith in what has been an impressive performance from the Northwest crew. The dry and dusty conditions are making life a little difficult for crews, and the Atlas Copco Nissan Navara of Gary Berthold and Siegfried Rousseau is battling to find a way past the Rubicon Ford Ranger of De Bruin and Kralin.
KwaZulu-Natal is well represented in the Donaldson Cross Country Championship, and the Ducatis Properties bat in the hands of Daniel Brooks and Gavin Gray are scything their way through the field. Starting 31st on the road this morning, they have moved up the field and are currently 16th overall.
Now in their second full season of National Championship racing, there's nothing flashy except perhaps the car colour scheme about Daniel Brooks and Gavin Gray. They get the job done, and much the same applies to Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson, who have made the switch from special vehicles to the production vehicle brigade.
With around 20 kilometers to go to the designated service park back at race headquarters, special vehicle leaders Evan Hutchison and Dani Stassen have taken a firm grip on proceedings. On the production vehicle front, Castrol Toyota Hilux crew of Duncan Foss and Rob Howie are in the lead, while the Atlas Copco Toyota of Cyril van Biljon and Philip Hasselman are under pressure from the Ford Ranger of Lance Woolridge and Ward Huxtable. Only seconds separate the Toyota and the Ford, with Woolridge and Huxtable showing a welcome return to form.
Slotting in behind Evan Hutchison and Dani Stassen among the special vehicles are Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell. And in a late change, the Argazi brothers look as though they are going to move ahead of Hammond and Vicard Silvalt, with the Elegant Fuel Striker appearing to have picked up a problem. Also in the mix, in the late charge to the DSP, are Hicho de Bruin and Henry Hicho, who have moved into 8th on the road in a strong showing in the Michelin XL Toyota Hilux.
First into DSP are Hutchison and Stassen, but problems in the Elegant Fuel camp.
Evan, how's it going?
Yeah, we had a good run up until about 50 k's from then. We've actually passed Evan, we were leading, and then we've lost brakes. And the last 40 k's we've got fuel starvation. We've got a fuel tank problem. So everybody passed us in the last 10, 12 k's. We just try to get back. So we'll try and see if we can fix it and do anything and then try again.
The special vehicle running order after Loop 1 sees Evan Hutchison and Dani Stassen with a comfortable 1 minute and 49 cushion over Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell, with the Argazi brothers more than 2 minutes further back.
While service crews get to work in the DSP, drivers can relax for a few minutes, and Lance Woolridge is satisfied with his morning's work.
Anthony had a problem just before the decontrol, and Chris had a puncher early on, so we've passed the two of them, so we're third now. But yeah, it's going well. Really enjoying the routes. Just got to concentrate a lot. There's so many mistakes you can make, but it's going well.
A narrow lead for Duncan Foss and Rob Howie among the production vehicles, with the two main title contenders down in 4th and 6th.
Into the final loop of the Ford Dealer 400 in Tabanshu, and with a comfortable lead in the special vehicle category, Evan Hutchison and Dani Stassen won't want to make any mistakes in the Motorride bat. A win here will take them back to the top of the championship with one event to go. At the front of the production vehicle field, Duncan Foss and Rob Howie are looking for their first win of the season, but proceedings have warmed up since the DSP holds.
It hasn't taken Chris Fiss and Jaapie Badenhorst long to get ahead of teammates Lance Woolridge and Ward Huxtable, and one rather fancies that team orders might have come into play. There is no doubt Fiss and Badenhorst will push hard for the win, but they will have to pull out all the stops to catch Foss and Howie.
The second Ford Ranger of Woolridge and Huxtable is just ahead of championship leaders Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy. As matters stand, 4th place will be enough to give the Toyota crew the championship. But motor racing is a funny old game, and it looks as though we have a race on our hands. The experienced Taylor and Murphy, who joined the Castrol Toyota team this season, will also be careful and avoid a mistake.
There's also been a little bit of drama among the special vehicles. Championship leaders Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell have fallen by the wayside, and Eduardo and Ricardo Argazzi now find themselves running second to Hutchison and Stassen. The retirements have also seen Neil Mayer and Philip Smith slip into third in what is turning out to be their best performance to date.
After starting the day alongside Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy at the front of the field, Sorrel van Biljon and Philip Harrisman have slipped back to 5th, but are the first of the privateers behind the factory Toyotas and Fords. Retirements have also lifted Philip de Vries and Johan Viljoen up the order in the Conqueror Porter, and they have been joined in the top 5 among the special vehicles by the steady Daniel Brooks and Gavin Gray in the Ducatis Properties bat.
A little further back in the production vehicle category, another Northwest crew in Malcolm Koch and Johan Berger have done a good job in the Koch and Son Toyota Hilux. Koch and Berger are running just ahead of the Zeely brothers, Daniel and Lowe, who have also benefited from retirements and have picked up places.
In the middle of the production vehicle pack, the Rubicon Ford Ranger of Bloemfontein crew Loader Brain and Rian Greyling is leading a gaggle of SP-class runners. Chasing after the Ford are Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson in the Atlas Copco Toyota, and Mike Whitehouse and Matthew Carlson, who have done a great job in the Regent Racing Nissan Navara after starting 43rd on the road. This has been one of the drives of the race, with Whitehouse and Carlson now trying to hold off a late challenge from Gary Berthold and Siegfried Rousseau in the Atlas Copco Nissan Navara, who dropped a place when they strayed off the route.
After a disappointing season in the Force Fuel Ford Ranger, yet another KwaZulu-Natal crew in Rowan Lamb and Lyle Parker look to be on track for a good finish. And after his 3-year break, Derek de Toy will have been happy with his performance in the ex-Van Staden Lawrence and Bat, with Johan van Staden's teenage son Sean doing the co-driving.
Since the early problems for Colin Matthews at Rodney Burke, Katsia Labuschagne and daughter Sandra have been running steadily at the front of the Class P field in the Ken Systems Zarco. The Labuschagnes have a comfortable cushion over Stefan van Pletsen and Jaco Pieterse in an aging Kenworth, with the father and son pairing of Tony and Michael Gouveia stepping up from the Northern Region Series to run second in Class P in the Force Fuel Bat.
The battle of the day has been raging in Class D, where the Mullilan Toyota Land Cruiser of Johan and Vanna Horn has never been more than a couple of seconds ahead of Northwest youngsters Jason Venter and Vincent van Alleman in the Trisom Toyota Hilux. Venter and van Alleman went into the race leading the championship, while back in Class E, Doug Veer and Kurt de Villiers have taken full advantage of the absence of already crowned champions Dirk Pitter and Koos Claessens, and are headed for their second win of the season in the Brighton's Removals Toyota Hilux.
Here at the finish, Evan Hutchison and Dani Stassen are putting the finishing touches to what has been a dominant weekend for the Motorwide team, who go to the top of the Special Vehicle Championship standings.
It's been a good weekend and a very important weekend. You know, we battled a bit through the year, and it's the second last event, so it was crucial. We needed to get back into the lead of the championship and get control of the championship. You know, now at least we go into the next race in charge of the result, not hoping for a result from someone else.
Some late drama with the penalty for infringing the rules, dropping the Agazi brothers off the podium and relegating them from 2nd to 6th. That means maiden podiums for Meyer and Smith and De Vries and Viljoen.
A first win of the season for outgoing South African champions Duncan Vos and Rob Howie, and from the moment they went into the lead on the first loop, the Team Castrol Toyota crew were well in control of matters.
It's been a long time. We haven't been up on the higher step for a while, so it's a great feeling to have finally won a race this year. Yeah, we're really happy about it.
And what was it like out there?
Yeah, it was tricky. You know, there were fast sections and then there were rocky sections, so as soon as you got over the tricky parts, you could go a little bit because it was really quick and enjoy the race, but you had to always have a little bit in hand for the difficult passages through the mountains. There was a lot of rocks and a lot of dangers, so you had to be careful there.
The final production vehicle results, and for Chris Visser and Jaapie Baardnost, it was a case of a bridge too far. 4th place is enough to give Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy the production vehicle championship, with one event remaining. Next time on the Donaldson Cross Country Championship, we catch up at the race within the classes.
We give you an update on the side-by-side cars.
We discover the Dakar plans from Toyota and Ford.
And we visit the Northern Regional Race in Barbasbun. Catch us on Supersport 8 on the 29th of October.
The Donaldson Cross Country Championship, brought to you by Donaldson Filtration Systems, a market leader in filtration solutions.
This November.